Neil, how are you and how are you feeling about this cup final? It's a bit of a strange build-up.
Yeah, it is. I mean, nothing's, like I said the other day, nothing's normal about this season or this year. But we're excited. We've had a good week's training. No fresh injury worries or um, concerns in that regard. And we're looking forward to it. It's a great occasion, despite there not being any supporters there. But we know the gravity of what lies ahead of us. It's a remarkable situation we find ourselves in, and hopefully one that we can, make the best of and overcome.
How tough a job do you have this week in terms of your team selection for this, given that, you've brought in the likes of David Turnbull, Ismaila Soro, but then you've got the players there that got Celtic to this point in the Scottish Cup?
Yeah, you just try and put the team out to win. So everyone's in contention, and even the bench, there was some decisions to make on that as well. But, got a really good, healthy, strong squad to pick from. So, I'm a bit spoiled for choice at the minute.
In terms of, obviously, the club, they can make a bit of history with a quadruple treble on Sunday. For yourself personally as well, what would it mean to you to become the first person in Scottish football to lift a treble as both player and manager?
It'd be fantastic, but again, it's not about my sort of career or my accolades. It's about the team and what they can achieve. And, I'm only as good as them. And they've been amazing. And we're one step away from, as you said, a bit of history. I think it's monumental myself, and I don't think we'll see it again in our lifetime. So, like I said, it's a huge game. I just wish there were people there to see it, be a part of it. But I have to, be wary of, not talking us up all the time. We've got a very good team to play against who will be highly motivated themselves. We won the last cup final against them, and, some of their players are still there. And I'm sure they'll want to avenge that. So, the pack full of, Premiership players or Premiership talented players. We know Craig very well. He's outstanding servant here, outstanding goalkeeper still. So we are under no illusions that, it's not a case of us just turning up and winning the game.
When you look at last year's cup final, Neil, you look, obviously it's a showpiece event, Scottish football. It's in May, the height of summer, and there's fans there and all that sort of stuff. Just how alien will this be, come Sunday? And how much do you have to guard against the fact that they're not walking out there to a wall of noise and colour?
Yeah, I mean, we've played League Cups finals at this stage, so, your preparation can sort of replicate that really in terms of how we want to, approach this game. But there's no question that, the lack of atmosphere, I don't know if it's an equaliser or, it's strange to say the least, Ronnie. But it is what it is. We wanted to get football back. We were hoping at this stage when we were making inroads in the summer that we'd have supporters back in the stadium, but it's just not possible. Does it take the shine off it? I mean, you live for cup finals, you live for big crowds, so that's one aspect that's not there. But the cup's still there to be won, and history's there to be made. So I think that's a great motivation for us all.
In terms of your own team and the forms, just speaking to Callum there, and it's 2 wins in a row. The feel good factor's coming back. If you were to add then a cup final win on top of that, I mean, what would that do for the team moving forward?
Yeah, I think it would give us, a real shot in the arm, and just continue that good sort of feeling. But if you win, you park it, and then you got to concentrate on a lot of games coming up, over the festive period as well. But we're just solely focused this week. It's it's another competition. It's a nice distraction. We're disappointed to go out of the League Cup early this season, but we've seen this season already how difficult it is to win trophies. So we're under no illusions that it's a foregone conclusion. This game is far from it.
Neil, do you feel that
you're speculation going around about your team selection?
Sorry, Ronnie?
Sorry. Are you aware of the kind of speculation that's going around the country about your team selection?
No, I'm not aware of any speculation.
I mean, everybody seems to have their say on it, who you think you'll pick and who you won't pick. Is there space for sentimentality in your team selection this weekend?
No, absolutely not. So, it's a cup final and it's a game that we want to win, and I've got to, pick the best team for the occasion and to help us win another trophy.
Neil, you talked in recent weeks about the players needing to rebuild their confidence because of some of the results. Do you think that they've done that?
Slowly but surely, I don't think we're there yet. I thought the last couple of performances have been good. I thought some of the performances, even in the run, were good, and maybe we didn't warrant the results or got the breaks that we were looking for. So, I wouldn't say we're in dire form, but the results would have, indicated otherwise. In a one-off game in a cup final, anything can happen. So we have to be, try and be as consistent as we can, during the game and find a level of performance for as much of the 90 minutes as we possibly can.
Do you also feel that this squad still retains the winning mentality that has driven the club to all these trophies over the last few years?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're in another final, and I think there's still a great belief that we can get something, from the domestic campaign for this season. I think there's a lot of football to be played. There's a great motivation among them. They've had, heavy criticism as I have as well. We've had to accept that and come out the other side of it and look forward.
You touched on Hearts earlier. Do you think that they're actually, given the experience, maybe a better team now than the one that you faced in the cup final last year?
Maybe psychologically they're in a better place, because it comes from winning, and albeit they're in the championship, but they're a great win in the semi-final against a very good Hibs team, and they showed their mettle, and they showed that they can compete with, some of the best teams in the Premier League. So maybe psychologically they're coming into the game with confidence, and that's off the back of winning games. The
last thing I was going to ask you was the SFA have announced that in the Scottish Cup, which starts next month, they're going to trial concussion substitutes. Is that something that you welcome, the fact that they're prepared to go down that road?
Yeah, I mean, concussion, I've had it myself. I've actually played with it, and after the game, couldn't remember a thing about the game, which is probably a good thing because probably didn't play well. No, but I think it's a very delicate situation that all sports are finding themselves in now. You look at the rugby union side of things, NFL, for years now has had a real problem with ex-players, and we've seen that with, some of our own legends of the game, Jeff Astle, Nobby Stiles, and you're looking for the link. But certainly with concussion, it's such a precarious and delicate situation with a player where they feel as if they're all right and they want to play on, but really deep down they shouldn't do. So yeah, definitely welcome this as a step in the right direction.
Neil, can I ask you, you've played in some massive games as a player. You've obviously managed some big games as well from a Celtic point of view, from a Hibs point of view as well. Can you give us some insight into what this week has been like for you in terms of your preparation? Because as you've mentioned, this is a monumental game that you're preparing for.
It's been quite calm because we don't have all the, the furore that you would have normally. It's just everyday life, because life is so different even away from the training ground. So we're trying to, we try to make it business as usual. I mean, again, we're in our own bubble, and that's been sort of like the case for the majority of the season. So it's not really been any different from any of the other weeks, leading into the game. And obviously you try to keep all the pressure or the gravity of the situation away from the players, but they're not immune to it. They understand what's at stake, and I think they're really looking forward to it.
Can I ask you a question as well, away from the cup final, regarding, I never thought I would hear myself say this, but regarding Brexit and what kind of plans that has for you in terms of signing players, EU players. Have you thought about that and any kind of potential pitfalls you might have? Because we understand that Scottish football have got kind of no contingency plans for that as yet.
Yeah, I mean, we have looked at that, and we probably looking at the British market more than anything else. I think it's going to be difficult, before, or sorry, after the end of the year, to get players in from the continent, as far as we're aware. So, Nick and his recruitment team, and obviously, the board are looking into that and ways we can, if we want to bring players in, what's the right way in accordance with the laws now of going about that. So yeah, we're aware of the difficulties we could face going forward.
Neil, can I just
Neil,
pick up
just going back to the game.
Sorry, Gabe, you go.
Yeah, just going back to the game. Ask Callum a similar question, but do you think that winning the final itself could almost create a swing in momentum, almost like change the narrative, that back in your favour, winning another trophy and giving you more confidence going back into the league season?
I just think psychologically it would be good for us. It would be the end of an unbelievable cycle if we could do it. 12 trophies in a row would be something you'll never see again. And I think it would give the players a massive shot in the arm, and a real good feeling, in what's been a difficult period for us. And hopefully, coming out on the other side of that and being able to look forward with a lot of confidence and belief.
In terms of your team selection, I'm not expecting you to give anything away. And as Ronnie was saying, everyone else is already having their say. But how impressed have you been with the combination of Chris Faraya on the right-hand side of the fence and Frimpong ahead of him in the last few games?
But yeah, been very good. Chris has been absolutely superb in that position. And Jerry's given us that sort of, pace and directness. So yeah, delighted. The attitude of both the players has been very good. Chris Dyer is a very special, talented footballer. And he can play in a number of positions. And you look at him playing it right back, and it's as if he's played there all his career. But he's only played there in the last few games. So, and his attitude has been, tremendous throughout this whole, tough period we've been through. He puts himself up there all the time. He's always fit and available to play, and he's been pretty consistent.
Neil, Callum McGregor just said that, he said, and I quote, "difficult run we had," past tense. Is that the way that you see it now? It's very much in the past. Yeah,
I mean, look, as a manager, you're always looking out for the next sort of stumbling block or the next sort of pitfall. But you can't just say over 2 games, yeah, we've turned a massive corner. We just have to keep building on that. And I'm pleased to hear Callum say that. We're not used to that sort of form or run. But, again, I think it's a good test of their character and their personality to come out the other side of that.
Do you intend to start Scott Brown in this one?
Well, you'll find out on Sunday.
What do you have to weigh up when making that decision? What's the difference between one of your teams with Bruni in the team and one without him?
That's a good question. He's fabulous captain, fabulous player. And I think at times we do miss him when he's not there. That's been the case, albeit the last couple of games where we've given him a bit of a rest. The team have played very, very well. But there's no question he has a huge presence, on and off the field. But as regards with team selection, like I said, there was no sentimentality involved in my thinking behind that with my backroom team. And we're not there yet with, the starting 11, but we'll discuss that and probably name it tomorrow.
Neil, just to pick you up on that lack of sentimentality, do you liken it to, you might not want me to bring this bad memory up, but when Gordon Strachan took
Don't even go there, Ronnie.
But can you liken it to that sentimentality?
It 13 years to get over that.
But is that the same sort of predicament you're facing? Whereas, like to yourself, at that point in time, you were wanting to bow out, in style, and he hooked you off. Is that the sort of things you could be weighing up?
No, because it's a different situation. I probably made a mistake by saying, around about March time, this, was going to leave at the end of the year, and then it was like death by 1,000 cuts, just dragged on and dragged on and dragged on. And, in Scott's case, he's got, at least the end of this season to play, and maybe longer. So it's not as if this is going to be Scott's swan song if he plays. It's not, hopefully we can negotiate and maybe try and get another cup final at the end of the season, and you know, he could and maybe should be involved in that as well. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk about whether to start him or not, or whether to start this one or not. You know, that'll be my decision, and we'll make the right decision for the club and the team.
So you're telling us you're finally over Strachan's decision?
No, I'll still talk to him.
Cheers, Neil. Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Neil. Good luck.
Thank you, Neil.